Dietrich Gym, I'm Bruce Biel, and my guest is the head coach of the CCSU men's basketball team. Welcome home, Patrick Sellers. I know it's not South Carolina, but it does feel like home, doesn't it?
No, it definitely feels like home. Talking about South Carolina, I remember driving up with my mom to come to school, and she helped me set my room up, made my bed, and got in the car. And I was like, "Where you going?" She said, "I'm leaving," and it's been home ever since.
Talk about a couple experiences first as a player at Central Connecticut.
As a player, Coach Dietrich just coming in here, Coach D, 500, 468 career wins, and like a Hall of Famer, and I didn't really know him much. I just, Coach Ribsley recruited me, and then I got to meet Coach Deacon. So that was just the first time I've ever been around a guy that special, that big time. So he was great. And then I got here with Brian Herron and Al Williams, and those guys. And Brian, as the Central fans know, was a tremendous player. So every day he would push us just because he was the best player, and I learned so much from Brian. So those first couple of years as a player, it was great. And I got to learn the state of Connecticut and how much everybody loves basketball here. This is a great time.
You still keep in contact with some of those guys like Brian Herron?
Yeah, so all of those guys, we're on the group text. So we text Brian, Al Williams, Damian Johnson, Mark Ribsley. We're on the group text, and we talk every day. Brian and I are big LeBron fans, so the other guys bust our chops all the time. But yeah, it's good. We talk.
All right, Patrick, we're not going to talk about the league, the NBA during this. I know you love it, but how about as a coach? I mean, you here at Central Connecticut, when you were brought in really by Steve Pike, kind of introduce you to Howie Dickerman.
Yeah, that was Pike's. My brother and Pike's played together at UConn, and so like I said in the press conference, I think it was Channel 26. We played games, and Pikes would watch those games and talk to my brother about our game. And so I knew Pikes from back when I was a sophomore, junior in college. And then as I got to high school, Coach D and Pikes always did a good job of getting high school coaches involved and watching practice. So they've always included me in everything. And then we got such a good relationship because at the same time I took minus in the break. And I would come over all the time, and then Pike said, "Hey, if you just hang tight, I think I'm gonna be able to get you in with Coach D." And then the rest is history. We got Coach Dickerman, and here I am today.
And how about, right off the bat, I don't know if it was Howie or Steve throws you a list of like the top 200 high school basketball players. Here you go to work, right?
Yeah, Tom Konchowski just passed away recently. Great man, recruiting guru. And Tom Konchowski did a scouting report, put it on my desk and said, "All right, go find these guys, go find some players here." And Pikes would give me direction. And Coach D had a certain way that he wanted it done, and we had to do it that way. And again, it prepared me for the future because everything I did after being with Coach D for those 4 years was easy. It was easy because I was so prepared.
Handwritten too, right?
Handwritten. Like, we didn't have the database, the recruiting database, and the technology. We just did it the old school way, handwritten on note cards. And for the longest, I used the note cards until recently. But it always worked. We got good players.
How different is it now recruiting? And again, the Northeast Conference. I mean, you had tremendous success here in your 4 years at Central. A couple championships, championship at FDU. So the NEC. You're very familiar with the NEC. How different is recruiting back then and now?
Back then, we were allowed to talk to guys on the phone once a week. And you would get more on a once-a-week phone call than you do today. Today, everybody's texting on Twitter. You could barely hear the kid's voice. So you could be talking to a kid, usually through text, 80% of the time. So you don't really get a good feel for that kid until you get face-to-face on an official visit. So you got 48 hours on an official visit, and then boom, you got to make a decision, is this the right kid for us? In the past, on the phone, you get a really, really good feel for, a guy, if he's emotional, if he's having a good day or bad day. So I miss those long phone calls with the recruits now, and instead everything is so digital. So you don't get that feel. So you have to kind of make quick decisions and use your connects with your high school coach or AA coach to kind of vet the kid more.
What kind of young man are you looking to bring here to CCSU?
Yeah, we want character guys, man. We want guys who, I always think that over the years, everybody I've coached, all the successful teams, they were really good people, good kids. And what happens when you have good kids, you can coach them really hard, you can push them, they will get better because they're good kids and they'll listen. And some days they're going to get tired of me, and that's when you have a good staff, and the staff can pick them back up. But I really want good kids, and obviously you want good basketball players. I'm a big IQ guy, so I love guys who understand how to play. A lot of our drills and stuff in practice will be developing their decision-making IQ. So I want that, and then shooting and ball handling skill. Like the game now is so much more skilled. When I was here as a coach before,
and it's a guard league too, right?
It's a very heavy guard league. You can get away with brute strength before when I played, and quickness and speed. But now, if you got speed and shooting and IQ, you can really do some damage, and you can win beyond getting that championship game. You can win in the tournament if you got guys who can shoot the ball and know how to play.
And you did that at FDU. Now, but the teams that you were associated with here back in 2000 and 2002. I mean, we're not going to debate which was a better team, but man, you really coached some terrific players. Some of them would be maybe Player of the Year in the NEC right now. Who's reached out to you? I know you mentioned to me yesterday that Corsley Edwards gave you a call, right?
Yeah, Corsley Edwards called me. Tomas Brookins. I've heard from Rick Mickens. I mean, the whole guy. Harvey Van Stein from Holland. Kofi Mensah texts me on Facebook. So I'm probably 80% of the guys on the championship team from 98, 99, 2000 team called me, and the 2002 team, I think they all be on Instagram or something.
Speaking of all the coaches were here, it was like almost being in time warp, with Anthony, Steve Pike, Kevin, Jay Young, Chris Casey. I could go on and on. But time warp, yeah, because you see familiar faces. But what about the way this gym looks? Steve Pike mentioned to me, geez, look at it. It's spruced up a little bit. You have the VIP room up there. And of course, what this place is like when there's 2,500 people in here. It's probably the toughest place to play in the NEC. What about the improvements here in the gym?
I walked in. I didn't realize they had the skybox up there until last week. So I walked in like, wow. I mean, it's really nice. That enhances the gym. It's going to get like you said, 2,500 people in here. The crowd's going to come back. They're going to be so excited. This is going to be a tough home court for us. One of our goals, I'm going to tell the team, is guys, we're not going to lose on our home court. We have to defend our home court, and I think our fans will come here and really be that sixth man for us. So yeah, the gym looks great. I think our guys are really like playing here. And recruits, when they come here and they'll see. Now I was just thinking in my mind, like maybe when you have a recruit up, you can do a little meal upstairs in the skybox, have it catered or whatever, and look over the gym and just talk about some of the things in the past and what the vision is.
And as far as guys go, this will be the final question for you. I know you've had a long couple days. What about the guys you're going to bring in? How do you bring them in? What is your feeling of the transfer portal? Because I've never seen anything like this with this transfer portal nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, the transfer portal is unbelievable. It's I don't know. I think the NCAA wanted to get away from the waivers, so they kind of said, well, let's open up the transfer portal. And now the transfer portal is out of control, so everybody's trying to figure it out. But my main thing, starting from where I'm at, is I want to try to get. We have 4 kids on the team. I want to try to get 3 of those guys from the portal from our team back if I can, and then that'll give us 6 scholarships. And I want to try and get at least 4 of those scholarships to freshmen. So high school kids. I think that'll start our culture. That'll build us where we need to be. With young kids, we kind of develop our system and learn our system. And then if there's 2 guys in the portal that I think can help us and add to the culture and add to what we're trying to do, then I'll take it. If not, I'll stick with the high school kids, because the one thing the portal is doing is it's hurting some really good high school players. So you can get some high school players, and because the portal's been so bad.
We've seen some pretty good Connecticut players go play at other colleges in the NEC recently.
Yeah, that's one of the questions I'm talking about too. Is back in Coach D and Pikes, we had high school coaches here all the time. We would have a free clinic. We did everything to get the Connecticut high school coaches here, and I'm going to bring that back. I want good Connecticut kids to stay home. So we're going to really work hard to keep kids in Connecticut because we don't want to go play against these guys. These guys, they grew up here. They've seen Central Connecticut. They know what we are. So we got to keep it there and help us win championships for Connecticut kids.
Patrick, I appreciate it. We've stayed in touch over the years, and I'm so glad we did, and welcome back.
Thanks, Bruce. I'm looking forward to it, man. Maybe we get some good post-game wins, press conferences. That'll be fun.
All right, Pat. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
That's Patrick.